York's classic rock, Q1043.
Thanks, Jim. A special draft day edition of Flight Plan today, and we're joined by the once and future linebacker, Demario Davis. Good morning, Demario.
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, it is so good to see you. 6 seasons with the Jets, around a 1-year detour to Cleveland, 8 with the Saints, and now you're back with Gang Green. What's changed this time around? What's the same?
So much has changed, and so much is still the same. Number one, the team owner, Woody Johnson, that took a chance and drafted me is still in place, and the organization feels so much like it did when I was drafted. Such a strong organization, a lot of continuity there. But I had a chance to go out and essentially grow up inside the game. You know everything that you want to do in the game. You know what you can become inside the game, but you have to have the right situation at the right time. And I had that in New Orleans, and getting a chance to kind of grow up, become the leader that I am, the player that I am, and then be able to bring that back to the team that took the initial investment in me. It felt like a mission that was incomplete, and so I'm excited to come home and deliver on that.
Well, Woody, speaking of investment, he decided to, rent out the entire South Street Seaport for tonight for a big party for all the Jets fans. What's going on down there?
That's incredible. So tonight, 4 o'clock, we have the entire Seaport district near Pier 17, and we're doing a Jets takeover for the first round of the draft. This is a critical draft. It's a very important moment. Takes me back to when I first got drafted. It's a very big night for the players, but just important for the fans. And that's the type of ownership and commitment that the team has in its fan base. And creating a moment like this, I think the entire fan base should take advantage of this. You go on Jets.com, and there are free tickets that are there and available. Season ticket holders will be up on the rooftop of Pier 17, and it's just a great moment in time. And it's the first time that the draft is back in the city since 2014. And so the draft is back in the city. I'm back in the city, so I'm excited. It's a lot of.
I'm
synergy.
old enough. I remember, back in the day, it was like in the Felt Forum, which is like 7 names ago for the little small theater in Madison Square Garden. It was Radio City and all that, but now it is a spectacle.
Yeah.
It is a multi-day spectacle. Now, the year you got drafted was already a 3-day affair.
It was a 3-day affair. It was the first. It was the first time that it was a 3-day affair.
Right.
And so I remember being on day 2 and being in Collins, Mississippi, and having my entire family around. My mom is the youngest of 10 kids, and so we had an incredible time. Had a big fish fry. All my cousins around, listening to music, playing cards. And with the 77th overall pick, the Jets selected me, and that was a moment that changed my life forever. And that moment is happening for so many young people, at least 32 of them, on the first night of the draft, and we'll get a chance to see that together. It'll be at this draft party at the Seaport district. There'll be a lot of Jets players there, former players, and our entire fan base, and we'll be watching the draft happen on this huge LED screen TV with music and fanfare. So just excited for what is taking place. I do not want to undersell this moment as to what it means and how good of a time it's going to be, and I want everybody to really show up.
Well, I keep seeing this comparison for where the Jets are now to where Dallas was when they traded Herschel Walker.
Wow.
So, in 1989, they have the best running back,
Come on.
That's out there, and they trade him in Minnesota for everything.
Yeah.
And all they do is take all of those picks and spin it into a dynasty.
Yeah.
Right? And so here we are sitting with 8 picks in, the next 2 drafts in the first 2 rounds.
Yes.
What can you build with that? You can build anything you want, right?
Yeah, you can.
So it starts this year, and it starts with the pick number 2, and everyone's talking about the same thing. Is it Arvell Reese? Is it David Bailey? And I don't know if you're even allowed to have an opinion on that as a current player.
Yeah.
Do they ever consult you guys on that? Do they ever say, hey, Demario, what would you like us to do?
They do consult players on different decisions, not necessarily draft, because a lot of times NFL players aren't as informed with college players as much as their scouting department is. But they may consult you on other pro players or if their locker room fits or things like that. But I think to what you just said about the Dallas and Jimmy Johnson spoke directly to that in what it can be done if you make the right picks with all that draft capital. That's what's crucial. But I think even more to to the fan base is to know they had that draft capital in 1990, but they didn't become a winning organization until 1992. So even if you make the right picks, you still have to give that time to play itself out. That's just to properly manage expectations. Right. That a process is underway that is really strong. You think about Aaron Glenn coming over here. He came from Detroit, which they turned around his first year there. They were 1-15. So 3-14, you're already moving in the right direction. The next year in Detroit, they started 1-6, and then they went on a win streak, and then they became the Detroit Lions that we know today. And you look at the Cowboys, it's a very similar situation. It was after those draft picks, they went and had another atrocious season or hard season.
And then that 3-win year that first
then
year.
The next year, they were kind of middle of the road and then had a big win in Washington, and then it really took off. And so it takes time, and that's what I think for our fan base not to grow anxious and to trust the process that's happening is to look at the process. And that's what I appreciate about New York is because there's the tolerance of being able to stay with hard things through an extended period of time, but to be able to see the measurable results. And that's what I'm excited about and really excited about being able to play a role in helping cultivate the roster that's already in the building, as well as those picks that will come in.
Well, I liked one of the Jets beat guys. I don't remember if it was EA or it might have been Rich Cimini said in the offseason the Jets didn't just sign one quarterback; they signed three because they were talking about Geno. And they're talking about Minkah Fitzpatrick and talking about you.
Yeah.
And like, because every group, has that guy who has to run it. And, the linebacker core and the D-backs and all that. Now, Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to be right behind you. And like this guy, talk about coming home. He played for New Jersey High School Championship on that same field.
Absolutely.
Have you talked to him about that?
Yeah,
is he
man.
into it?
For him, that's a dream come true. And probably something that he never foresaw, but his entire family is here. Mm-hmm. And so he's back in his backyard. This was very similar to what I got a chance to experience in New Orleans. He probably has no idea what this is going to mean to him, his legacy, being a kid from here. I can only imagine. I was drafted here. He's from here. And he's probably one of the most respected safeties in the game. Just the way that he shows up, his discipline, his character, but his football IQ is at an all-time high. So what he's going to mean for the secondary, what it's going to mean for the back end, the back seven, getting a chance to be with him, but also the guys that we brought up front, and Devondre Sweat, David Onyemata, and on top of guys that have already been doing at a high level up front. So it's just excited to be able to come in and be a part of an organization that already has star power with Garrett Wilson, Will McDonald, Sherwood. You got some great players that already have shown flashes. To be able to put some veterans around that, to build a culture around that, and have a coach and a coaching staff that's all on one accord, and then have all this draft capital. Like, even if we didn't have all the draft capital, you have a lot of solid pieces. As a guy that's been playing this game for 15 years, I know what the makeup of a good team looks like, and what it feels like, and what pillars you have to have in place to just have a chance. Even before the draft capital, there's already some good things. And so with the draft capital is what makes it so exciting. So that's why I'm so excited about tonight and this draft party. We want the whole Jets fan base to be excited as the players are and the coaching staff is, and to make sure you show up.
So it's free tickets for anyone who wants to come on down. You just have to sign up on NewYorkJets.com and just RSVP, and then the whole run of the Seaport is going to be yours. If you're a season ticket holder, if you're a Flight Club member, you can get special tickets to be up on the rooftop of Pier 17. And by the way, your guys told me that we could, maybe sneak a pair in. So
there you go.
Why don't we do that right now? You want to give us a call, 888-872-1043, caller 25. You better be gangrene, because if not, we will know and we'll pitch you right off the rooftop.
That's it.
But we'll give you a special VIP pair for the draft party that's happening tonight at 4 o'clock at the Seaport. And let's get it done. JETS.
Just. Let's go.
Demario Davis, thank you for joining us here on Q104.3 on Flight Plan. And back to you, Jim.